biggest names in music.
Oh, wow.
Big names, big songs, big guests, big prizes.
Well, it's a big show. Okay.
The Big Show.
Put your hands together for the one and only
Glenn, Angel, FD, and Sean.
That's what I'm talking about.
1FM 91.3. Good times, greatest hits.
1, 2, 3.
Good morning and welcome to The Big Show and TheBigShow.tv. We are live on TheBigShow.tv. That's our Facebook page. Our guest for this morning is Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room. Good morning, Gerry.
Morning.
Good morning.
So bright and chirpy for the topic we're about to get started on.
Yeah, well, outside echoes the darkness of the topic we are talking about.
Oh.
Which is PTSD, Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder.
Yes, well done, Glenn.
Thank you.
What exactly is PTSD, Dr. Jerry?
PTSD, so it's post-trauma, right? So you have trauma. What is trauma? Trauma is when your world is rocked upside down. And the world that you know that is supposed to be safe is no longer safe. And not only no longer safe, it's kind of rocked you in a way that you don't know how to regain balance.
Okay.
And when you say trauma, it can also, it's not necessarily just physical trauma, right? It can also be emotional and mental trauma.
So all the different sort of traumas that can occur, physical, emotional, verbal. So all the different abuse can cause it also. Different situations can cause it. I just realized, am I having an echo there?
No, you're fine.
you're perfect.
You're absolutely
You're
fine.
perfect. You're perfect.
You know, Gerry, for someone who is suffering from PTSD, do people who suffer from PTSD get hit by panic attacks as well?
Yes. So all the different comorbids, which later on we can go into. But I guess PTSD first came out with the post-war, where the soldiers came back and everybody expected them to be like as per normal, like fall back into life and everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's where the word shell shocked come from, because they were going through so much and their world was not safe at all.
Oh, that's interesting. Shell shocked and PTSD are the same thing.
Yep.
Oh.
So initially when they coined it, they didn't know what to call it, right? So they call it a variety of things, including shell shock.
Yeah, I think that was the first time I heard of PTSD. It's from watching movies, war movies in particular.
Yeah, and you can understand why, right? Because while they're there, they see loads of things.
And they have
made
to do things.
Yeah.
Made to do things, and at the same time, that visual stays in their minds. Their friends being blown up because they've stood on landmines.
Yeah.
The torture that some of their friends go through,
POWs and all that.
as POWs. And when they get back to civilian life, they can't help but have these visions of what they've been through. Is that the main reason for PTSD, Gerry?
So the world that they knew, looked very dark, looked very bleak, and looked very unsafe, dangerous, and they could not get out of it. So most of the time you feel like you cannot get out, and soldiers cannot get out of that, right? Because they have to be on the battlefield. Yeah, so that's when it first started. But now, thankfully, we don't have wars like that, or, some countries are still warring, but, we don't want to go down that path. But does PTSD still occur? Yes, it does. It still occurs.
And
Why does it affect some people and yet not all?
I knew FD was going to say that.
And how do you know it's really PTSD? Or it could be a short-term reaction based on an event that someone has gone through.
Okay, so I'm going to address FD first. first,
Can we address it live on Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right, here's Depeche Mode, Strange Love on The Big Show. We continue to talk to Gerry on thebigshow.tv. Join us, please.
All right.
So, Gerry, my question to you is, why do some people get PTSD and yet others don't?
Yep. So I want to put it out there. A lot of people often say that, oh, get over things. Why can't you get over things? PTSD does not mean that, you have a weak mind or a weak heart. Sometimes it's where your whole resilience is broken down. You got into a situation where you didn't expect to, or your brain just simply cannot manage at that point in time. For example, road traffic accidents, okay, and someone being caught in that whole car wreck. Okay, can suffer from PTSD. Why? Because it's not a common occurrence. You don't have car, accidents all the time, or road traffic accidents all the time. And you're stuck there. Your world is just turned upside down, and you start to worry, will it come back again? Why was I placed in that? So the whole system is short-circuited.
Okay.
So it's like being blindsided by a situation.
By the circumstances or situations, yes. Where it just takes you into a different dimension.
And it's not because you have a weaker character or a weaker personality. That's got nothing to do with it, because the strongest people can get affected, right?
And we all have, weak spots. All of us have weak
Trigger
spots.
points, right?
Trigger points.
Trigger points, sore points, Achilles heel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it like a chemical imbalance in the body then?
Okay,
Right?
so when your body is being thrown, so in any situation that you need to deal with, your body is thrown into a stress state. So your body goes through stress. So it produces a lot of adrenaline, a lot of cortisol, and then the body forgets to kind of calibrate it or reduce it after the whole situation.
Right, okay.
Okay.
Still continues.
Okay, so you're talking about the body going through stress. There are different levels of stress. So are there different levels of PTSD?
Yeah. How do you diagnose it, Gerry?
Okay, so when they come, most of the time they will have three, what I call the triangle. The triangle would be the first one, avoidance. Avoidance of a situation, avoidance of certain things. Okay, so perhaps a girl comes in and she doesn't want to be touched. She not only doesn't want to be touched, when you go near her, she pulls away.
Okay.
Okay, so avoidance. Okay, then you have the alertness. So the triangle has triple A. Alertness is the second one. It's a hyper vigilance. You're on a constant lookout for any sort of triggers, any sort of dangers that may be around.
Okay.
Okay.
And the last one is anxiety. You panic, you have your panic attacks, you're high tension, you're paranoid about everything, you cannot let go or let yourself go because there is danger all around.
Right.
So PTSD doesn't just stem from things like war or like an accident, like you say. It also comes from things like physical abuse by someone in a household, rape, sexual abuse, and all that. Which I mean, you sent us some pretty disturbing articles this morning. Some articles that were recently in the news.
Yep.
So we were speaking about triggers earlier, like for those that have gone through war, and I would imagine like loud sounds, sounds that emulate sort of gunshots and bombs and things like that. What about triggers for those that have gone through physical abuse?
it can
Touching?
range from touching. So one of them, this is a 50-year-old guy, and he comes here. One of my pro bono cases, actually, and his body, is so tense all the time. And you wonder, why is it so tense? So he started telling his story. His father had been beating him since he was a little boy. And he's the youngest of, so he's not the youngest. He's one of the children, somewhere in the middle. Okay. He has older siblings and younger siblings. But he was the only one singled out by his father to be beaten up. Okay, and he was beaten up until he was quite old. Okay, but thereafter a strange thing happened. He would want to go to his father and tell the father, "Beat me up."
Right.
So this occurred until the father, until he came for therapy, and he managed to stop. As the father has passed away since then, that reduced the anxiety a whole lot. But whilst he was on therapy, you could see a lot of PTSD because he was looking around, hyper vigilant for any old man. Any old man reminds him of his father, and his body would tense up. The feeling, he could feel the sensation of the beating. And then when he can't feel it, he would try to, that's why he would go to his father and get that beating.
Right.
Because his body literally
Was so used to it.
Not only used to it, his body itched to feel that pain on his skin.
Do those that get abused often abuse?
Not all of them, but they are scared. They are very scared that they would emulate the same behavior to another person. So you are right. But it does not mean the cycle cannot be broken.
Okay.
Okay. We'll come back with. Well, you're gonna answer my question, right? Which was how do you diagnose PTSD?
How do you diagnose it?
Okay, coming up. Another night, Real McCoy right here on The Big Show and TheBigShow.tv. We are with Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room talking about post-traumatic stress disorder today. And my question for you earlier on, Gerry, was how do you diagnose someone with PTSD? Because, not everyone has PTSD. Some people have PTSD open and close inverted commas for a few days after maybe a traumatic experience or a bad event or something like that. Is PTSD something that is over a prolonged period of time?
Yes. So remember that any disorder, it needs to affect functioning. So you would see that they are, so the triangle, the avoidance, the alertness, and the anxiety. So you see a lot of emotional symptoms. You see the insomnia, they cannot sleep, there's sleeplessness, a lot of flashbacks, nightmares, because of the hyperarousal or hyper-alertness, sometimes they cannot sleep. It affects their functioning at work. They cannot deal, or manage themselves at work. Affects social relationship. They don't know how to relate to another person properly. They don't know, how to engage with them or even, permit anyone close to them because it is just too scary. They sometimes cannot even look after themselves because they're so worried or scared, so hygiene goes down. The attention, so executive functioning, all the attention, memorizing, acquisition of all the different information just goes down the drain. They can't do it. Yeah. So those are a few things that we're looking out for. And of course, I think Glenn was saying something that is very true. It has to be for a prolonged period of time. So if you're observing it for a month, 2 months, and it's not abating, then you probably have PTSD and go for some consultation.
So, do you get people who just basically say, "Oh no, I'm just stressed. I'm just stressed." They run away from it. They don't want to acknowledge it.
Yes. So for like this 50-year-old guy I was talking about, for the longest time, his friends had been asking him to go somewhere. And it was his, sometimes you are so blessed with wonderful friends. His friends actually called for him, made the appointment for him, and ensured that he came for the session.
Wow.
Oh,
Just
that's
very
nice.
quickly, for the benefit of people who are not watching us on thebigshow.tv and who are listening to us exclusively right now, this story of this 50-year-old guy you were telling us about, he was abused by his father, and right now, I mean, he is still seeing you about this issue. Tell everyone about this guy, please.
So this 50-year-old guy, he was beaten since he was young, and he never really broke away from that, So instead of growing up and leaving the house, he actually went back and consistently asked for beatings, because his body was reacting to it. He was itching. He literally said that my body is itching, and I
Itching
need
for more beating.
Yeah, I need to be beaten up, because that was his definition of attention. He doesn't know whether his father loves him, but that's the only attention that his father gave him was the beating.
Oh my gosh.
Right, but he's seeing you right now at the age of 50. At what age was he still going back to his father for, what?
At 50
still.
So his father just passed away, you were saying, right?
Oh,
So-
My
wow.
goodness.
Yep. So now he's
Oh my
51.
goodness.
So so he came when he was 50, and so just when he came, so after he came to me, we managed to stop that behavior, but it did not mean that he did not go back to the father's house and stand there.
Right,
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah, but he managed to restrain himself.
right.
So, Dr. Gerry, you're saying that this father of your patient was beating his son up. How far back does it go? Like, how far back do you dig to find out why? Do you find out things like why the father would have done something like that? Does it go
How
that
would
far
we
back?
know?
You would, right, okay.
Yeah, the perpetrator is not there to verify anything at all, right?
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
so will we ever find out the actual reason? We might never find out the actual reason.
But I can't help but
know.
think right now that there was something wrong with the father.
father, yeah, that's
Yeah.
why
Because
that's what I'm wondering, yeah.
I thought the beating stopped maybe in his early
20s
20s
or
or something
something.
like that. But for you to tell me that the father was actually
Appeasing him with that, yeah.
by beating him up to a year ago
No, but
before
I-
he passed away is mind blowing.
sick.
I can just see the problem, because if he was itching to get this
Attention.
beating, this attention, you as his psychologist would have had a whole different set of problems to deal with once the father passed away, because now he's got nowhere to go to get the beatings.
Oh, so thank goodness for that. He came before the father passed away. So we were able to prepare him because,
Okay.
father's not always going to be there.
Yeah.
Right.
And he needs to learn self-love
Yeah.
and self-respect.
And how old was
build
his
that
father
up.
when his father passed?
80 plus? 80?
Wow.
Yeah.
And how is he handling it now? Now that his father is gone, I'd be keen to find out more about
Okay,
this particular case.
we'll find out a little bit more on thebigshow.tv. Meantime, here's Pink with Most Girls on 1FM 91.3.
So his dad has passed, and he's here in inverted commas on his own. How is he dealing with it now?
He is doing much better, knowing that the father is not there. He don't need to look out for the father anymore. There's lesser hypervigilance there, which is wonderful. He's now able to open the windows. He was so afraid that he was going to jump from his floor
Wow.
that he actually boarded up everything.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, to keep himself safe.
Does he
So
live
now-
with anyone? I know this is digging too deep, but is he on his own?
He has friends, but the problem with, PTSD is that they tend to recluse themselves because they're so scared and so paranoid, and the noise level in their head is just too much. Yeah. So they tend to try and withdraw sometimes.
Well, he was quite privileged because he's surrounded by a good support group of friends that actually made this appointment for him. But if someone is on their own and needs to seek help, when is a good time for them to seek help to realize that they are suffering from PTSD?
I mean, the second you start, feeling uncomfortable, you start feeling like, you can't sleep, you can't eat. So, signs and symptoms of all the depression, and then irritability, or you start having your nightmares, just go to a doctor. Any doctor will do, and the doctors will be able to direct you to the right personnel anyways.
And who would this be? Would it normally be a psychiatrist or a psychologist?
So the therapy work usually is with the psychologist. So we process all the different parts of the memories and the trauma. The psychiatrist comes in where there's comorbidity of like major depressive disorder, anxiety disorders. So the different other comorbid clinical disorders where it requires medication.
Sorry, what's comorbidity? Comorbidity.
It comes together with another disorder.
Right, okay.
Something plus something.
Okay.
Jerry, can medical conditions cause PTSD?
Yes, I think one of the articles we saw, right?
Yeah.
Can definitely. So I've had a range of different people come with different things. The article was about the COVID, but taking one of the cases here, some of the children have bad tummy aches. Okay, even adults get bad tummy aches. Okay, for a prolonged period of time. And they go from one doctor to another doctor trying to diagnose, take one medicine after another medicine. And although, their tummy feels better, by the time they come to me, they are still scared. So they are hyper vigilant to what the body is feeling. Any sort of like tweak or, ache, they will start going, oh, is my tummy going to be so bad?
It's coming.
Last year, 10 years ago, or no, not 10 years ago, 2 years ago, I've had this, I did I eat the wrong thing? So they're so particular that it affects their functioning. Some of them cannot go to school, they stay away from school because school, they stress can cause a little bit of kind of like weird tummy sometimes. So they just don't want to feel that sensation. So we need to process with them. So they avoid, like I say, they are hyper vigilant. They are avoidant of certain foods, certain places. One of them was like, oh, I vomited the last time I went to this particular restaurant when I ate the fried rice, so I don't want to go there anymore. So the avoidance is there. And the anxiety, so they are so worried and so tense.
So Jerry, if that's the case, then this current pandemic we're going through could be a trigger for many people to end up suffering with PTSD.
Absolutely.
Yes, they can, and different parts of it, right? There could be some that have been scolded very badly for not putting on their mask, like shouted at and everything, and for someone that is a little bit more like I'm minding my own business and suddenly you shout at me, that can cause an imbalance in the whole system. Is like, oh, it intruded my safe wall, that whole concept of that. And then they start to look out for people that shout at them, perhaps. So that's on a very small scale.
How do you treat someone who has PTSD who is abusing somebody else because of that? You know what I mean? Like one of the articles that you sent us about the mother who was injecting her son with insulin. So she's suffering from PTSD and the abuse is going on to the next generation. How do you deal with something like that?
Yeah, so sometimes that happens when they are hurt themselves and they don't know how to self-soothe, and they have to hurt someone else because they need to try and make sense of what is going on, or to continue the unsafe environment so that they think that they can manage the environment, so the what we can do is to deal with the perpetrator. So in this case, to deal with the mother.
Yeah, I call this situation PTSD CTP.
What?
CTP?
Call the police.
Call the police.
You got like you nonsense.
Wouldn't you?
How,
Yeah, you would.
You have to call the police.
Dr. Gerry, how do you deal
Oh,
with
dear.
someone you know who has PTSD then? If
How-
you
how
have
do I what? Sorry?
How would one deal with someone that has PTSD? A friend, a family, how do you handle them? What do you do?
Gentle hands, very gentle hands.
With loads of empathy.
Yeah. So you need to be empathetic. You need to really just wear kids' gloves and just deal with them, because they can be so wound up. They don't want you to touch, or they explode on you. So you need to be very gentle with them and to support them, and keep nagging, keep nudging them, keep showing that this current world, this world that they are looking at, is actually safe. And it's no longer the old world that they have been living in.
But how do you make promises like that? With people that have gone through so much abuse and all that, how do you guarantee that the world is safe? Because, frankly, it's full of awful people at the same time, isn't it?
True. So that what caused PTSD, one of the things is that it is out of their control. So COVID is out of our control. A rape victim, the situation is out of their control. They feel that they have no control. So they learn how to take back control. So one of the not funny things, but one of the experiences that I had was my little boy, when he was really, really little, we sent him for swim classes, and the swim coach was really, really bad. He just left that little, so he was, I think, maybe about 3, or 4, and he just left the baby in the pool, and he was a distance away, so the baby is clearly panicking, right? And I was like, so as a new mom, I'm going like, what is going on? And so I gesticulated, because if I go, I would scream. Sometimes Gerry turns into a monster, okay? So especially when it comes to my children and my staff or whatever it is, I turn into a monster. So I told the daddy to go deal with him. So true enough, the little boy wasn't going to swim anymore, and it took him many years after. And he always remembered that I was left alone,
even though he was only 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yes, and he refused to go to the deep pool. It took a very, kind coach whom we told and let the coach know the situation.
Right.
That, okay, do what you can. Let's play with water first. And that kind of helped him along.
Which village was this coach from?
I hope he's not still teaching.
It's like, old school. Yeah,
Very
they
old
throw the
school,
kids in the water.
In the deep
Okay,
end,
But
they'll
go paddle.
float, right?
But
Go
had
thread water.
we had the same problems with our girls when they were learning to swim.
Yeah.
There are a lot of coaches out there.
Tough love.
Tough love. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
tough love.
Okay, we talk about
cannot
tough love
do
on
that.
air.
No, you
Talk
can't,
about
Hold
Traffic.
on.
OneFM 91.3 traffic.
All right, now we know we've got one or two delays across the expressways. That's pretty much normal for this time of the day. Look out for the SLE towards the BKE. We have an accident before the BKE exit. The PIE towards Tuas, an accident at Jalan Baha exit. Grange Road towards Orchard Boulevard, a vehicle broken down after Somerset Road. Avoid the right lane. Stay within the speed limit. Have everyone buckled up. Be safe as you drive today.
Good morning. We are with Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room, and we are discussing PTSD this morning.
You know, Gerry, earlier I asked about levels of PTSD, and one of our listeners has said, last year I got into an accident on my motorcycle because of another driver. Until today, I have this fear when I prepare to turn right, not when I prepare to turn left. Is that PTSD or is that an irrational fear?
Well, it is him being very alert, you know, because when something happens, your brain learns and it starts to prepare you that there is a possibility that something might happen. Yeah, so you're a little bit more vigilant, you're a little bit more alert. It's not PTSD, it's not permeated like all the different facets of your driving. You can't drive, you know, you're afraid to do anything on the roads itself. You know, you're irritable when someone is beside you in the car. No, so yeah, it needs more than that.
Okay. Good.
Somebody messaged in on our WhatsApp. I think his name is Azman. He said, as a hypnotherapist, I've come across some similar cases of obsessive perfectionist behavior, which often stems from a child seeking affirmation from adults, which is probably what you were talking about with your 50-year-old patient. That was the only way he could seek attention from his father was to go back and get beaten up more. Is that what it's called? Obsessive perfectionist behavior? No.
See, that's why that guy's a hypnotherapist and she's a psychologist.
I mean, he probably has seen different things, but not particularly for this case. So for this particular case, it's clearly complex trauma that has stemmed from, a very young age.
Can you hypnotize people as well, Gerry?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So because I realize more and more people are getting certified for hypnotherapy. Yeah. Can they hypnotize themselves? Can you hypnotize yourself?
Self-hypnosis, yes, you can.
Oh, wow. How do you come out of it?
Yeah, I was about to say, if you're hypnotized, how do you get out of the thing then?
You can put a timestamp on it. You can put a cue word on it. You can do different things.
But who says the cue word? Yourself or somebody else?
It can be a cue sound. You can
like an alarm or something, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
That must be crazy. Can you imagine if you forget to set that alarm?
God.
But it's so interesting though, because if you're able to hypnotize yourself, then you can get yourself out of certain. Sometimes we have these thoughts and we want to get the thought out of our minds, or we want to strengthen our minds a little bit. Can hypnotherapy do things like that?
Yeah, like wouldn't you become the most perfect version of yourself if you
Exactly.
can hypnotize yourself?
You can enhance, but there's no 100% for anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
But any form of enhancement is good, man.
Right?
Yeah.
I would think, yeah.
But Gerry, you guys as psychologists, do you use hypnotherapy when someone needs to go to a certain spot in time but can't get there? Is that when you use hypnotherapy?
We can use that, so we can go do a little bit of that regression work. Yeah. I prefer not to until absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
Would you use that for patients with PTSD?
I would
Hypnotherapy?
do other things first.
Okay.
Because they're already so vulnerable,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hypnotherapy is the last resort. You don't use it.
For me.
Yeah,
I know
for
other
you.
people,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's not harmful though, right?
You would be So I have to access your subconscious, right? So you'll be more susceptible to whoever that is going to access your subconscious.
Yeah, you're vulnerable, right?
And you obviously have to trust that person a lot because that person's going to know things that nobody else knows.
Well, that's the same with
Doctors.
doctors,
Yeah.
psychologists also.
Yeah.
So,
Gynecologists.
Yeah.
They go where no one else has gone.
Let me just say that I trust you, Gerry. Can you hypnotize me?
There we go. I knew that was coming.
It was going to happen, Gerry.
Still
you're
cannot.
invited to the center, but and to sit on the couch. But I will not be your therapist. Thank you very much.
Okay.
He keeps trying, you know.
Up next.
No.
Consistency is key.
Yeah, one day she will say yes. One day. All right, here's the Lighthouse Family with High on the Big Show, 1FM 91.3.
Gerry, I want to ask the hard question. I hate putting you on the spot.
Ask it.
But I've got this question and I want to ask it. And I think it needs to be asked because people need to understand.
Okay.
You have a patient. You know that patient is a danger to themselves or to their family. Do you keep that knowledge to yourself? Or is it or do you put the safety of the family into consideration and, I don't know, notify the police, notify what, I don't know.
So all the clients are told, and now I say it on air. So everything is private and confidential, except when we tell them they're gonna hurt themselves, hurt other people, kill themselves, or kill other people. So if we are in the know in the session, then we will have to act on it. So there are times when, the client says that they are feeling very bad and they want to hurt themselves. So then we will say, okay, you know what the procedure is. Now I have to tell your next of kin. I have to tell somebody. Yeah.
Is hurting themselves more of a common thing that you see than hurting others?
So they would go for the self first, before, they don't explode so much.
It's more implosion.
Yeah, more
Okay.
implosion. So even for PTSD, a lot of self-harm and suicidal sort of ideation and behaviors occur.
That's a great segue into our next topic about
Saman aunties.
Saman aunties.
yes. But that one is quite fun. That's you're eating and then suddenly go, hey, who parked the car?
License plate.
喂，来料了，来料。
Hey, Gerry, before you leave us, and I love the words you always have at the end, do you have something to say to people who are suffering from PTSD or families who have someone suffering from PTSD?
Yes, I do.
Or people who think they are suffering from
Yeah.
PTSD.
Yeah.
Always the cynic, right? Always the cynic.
Yes. Sometimes you fall apart. It would feel like the end, but really it is the start of something beautiful. So this, I give to the people who are suffering, who feel really, really bad, and reach your hand out to a family, a friend, a therapist, and they can help with that start of something beautiful.
Oh,
Nice.
Nicely said.
thank you so much, Gerry.
No worries. Hi, Julian.
Hi, Gerry. Morning.
I almost forgot my interns. Now that I say so, I've interned Rachel today, who is celebrating her birthday. But they always remind me that whenever Julian comes, I must say my little quote or anything and end.
So it's Rachel's birthday today, is it?
Yes, it's Rachel's
Happy birthday,
Happy
Rachel!
birthday,
Rachel!
Have a good one.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna leave all of you. See you next
All
week.
right, Gerry, have a
Bye,
nice
Gerry.
day ahead. See you next
Bye.
week.
Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye bye. the one, the only Dr. Geraldine Tan. And now we have Julian Kho, editor of sgCarMart. Just very quickly, what will we be... Wait, hold on. Are we
We
on...
still have
Oh,
time.
we're on Facebook.
We're on Facebook.
I thought we were on air, therefore. Okay. So
Still
today
got
we're
two
going to be
songs.
talking about saman, aunties, and uncles.
Yeah.
They are both.
The
Yeah.
people.
It's a tough job, man. It's a tough job. I mean,
Are there still as many around? I mean, now you've got the SG parking app and stuff like that.
I don't see a lot of them anymore. But I mean, there are still, some of them running around and stuff, but I don't see a lot of them. Not anymore.
And
Not
and
anymore.
the thing is, I feel that these days, right, there's much more grace than before. Because I have been given this ticket on a couple of occasions, right? And the last time I was with Angel, actually, and Anjali, we went for lunch, and I had forgotten, because I used the parking app, you see. So I set everything, I forgot to hit start parking.
He's like, I'm so
happens.
sure I did it. I'm
It
so
happens.
sure I did it.
So when
Yes,
I
it
came
happens.
back, right, I saw the chit on on my windscreen, and I looked at Angel. I'm like, what happened? Maybe I parked out of the box or whatever, because I was so sure I had hit start parking on my app, right? And
Yeah.
you know,
But why is it necessary to still put the paper if it's on an app?
Because it wasn't paid, you see.
yeah.
Oh, because the app wasn't started.
Exactly,
Okay,
exactly.
okay. So they didn't know.
As a
right,
result of
right,
that, so I
Right,
knew
right,
I
right.
had been fined for something.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, okay.
So I looked at it, and I didn't look at it closely because, I mean, it looks the same, right? And so a few days later, I went up to on my AXS app, I wanted to pay my fine.
Yeah.
It said, no records found. So I'm
Yay.
like, how come? And then I looked at the shit again, the ticket, and it said, oh, it's just a little warning,
Oh.
don't. So they didn't
they
find
gave
me
you
at
a
all.
warning.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was a
right.
warning.
Let me try and give you a possible scenario. You're using an app that's connected to URA, correct? So you set up the app
Yeah.
with your parking lot,
Yeah.
but you didn't press start.
Maybe
Yes.
they saw
So
this.
URA knows that you
Attempted
actually
to.
attempted to park but forgot to
No
press.
lah, is that
No,
possible?
and I-
Because
Cannot
it's
be lah.
linked to URA. Hey, come on, I'm trying to make the URA look good here.
I don't think so. Then everyone will be using that as an excuse. Do you
Well,
know what
I
I mean?
just gave them an out. You
Okay.
see, I'm trying to help
Let's see what
everybody.
the editor of sgCarMart has to say about this. Why do you
Hey,
think I
this
got
is-
away with it?
I'm an automotive guy, man. I'm not a tech guy. This is out of my jurisdiction, man. I think what FD said made a bit of sense.
It
That
does.
there is that possibility
Yeah.
because you cannot discount the fact that Singapore is now a smart nation amongst
Everything's
many
connected.
other country, right?
Yeah.
There were even rumors, and I'm not too sure how accurate this rumors being rumors, that the parking app was actually a stepping stone for the new ERP that was going to come.
Yes.
Where we can actually detect where you are. They can
Right.
actually issue fines where you are. It's all GPS related and all that kinds of stuff. But to me, I think, in all honesty, I think what FD said made a bit of sense. It could be possible. I wouldn't discount that. I wouldn't discount it because it would actually make no sense.
He says
It makes no
it's
sense that they give you
possible.
warning.
Or maybe they also have your record and they see like, okay, you haven't like
Clean record,
Yeah,
yeah.
not so
Yeah.
bad, so they give you a chance, one
could
warning.
be.
But if you keep violating that rule, then they're gonna fine you, right?
Yeah, that's
It
possible.
never happens to me. It never happens to me.
How
And
many
maybe it's
tickets have you
because-
had?
Or maybe your face also down there. When in your app, right, there's your face also,
Yeah,
so they
they're
can
like,
see.
oh, we
This fella,
know,
the
yeah.
face like that. I don't like.
They're all going, this one sgCarMart should know better.
You need to
Yeah.
change your profile picture in your SG
It's
parking
either
app.
that. It's either that, or they're looking. Oh, it's Glenn Ong. I know this guy. He's the radio guy. Let's give him a call.
We don't want him to mention
that would
anything
be
on the
great.
show.
Okay,
But yeah,
back on air.
apart from parking, I've also gotten away with like one speeding ticket. Here at Bradle, just in front of SPH actually.
Oh, right.
Wasn't
Yeah.
there the other one in the
Oh,
in
yeah.
the tunnel that you
Yeah,
thought
so
you
they-
had
Okay,
flashed?
Yeah.
getting back, stand by.
Count on me 'cause I can count on you.
Bruno Mars, Count on Me right here on The Big Show, 1FM 91.3. We also live on thebigshow.tv. Our guest right now is the editor of sgCarMart, Julian Kho. Thanks for joining us, Julian.
And
Good
Julian,
morning.
good morning. This morning we're talking about parking. Parking wardens.
Yes.
Right, the aunties and uncles that go around and put little slips of paper if you park errantly, or if you forget to turn on your SG parking app like Glenn.
The summon auntie.
The summon aunties and
the
uncles.
summon, uncles. Yeah.
And it's
because a lot of them are young, you see. That's why
are they?
you notice they're very young actually.
Because now you're the uncle.
Yes. Okay. Fair enough. But yeah, some of these guys are really young,
Yeah, and it can't be an easy job, right, Julian? Going around.
I think it's a tough job, man. This even if you pay me good money for it, I will have to consider this job offer. It's people hate you.
Yeah.
People
Yeah, you got no friends. No.
People love to hate you.
Yes.
You know
are
what I mean?
they going out of style though? And in the sense of, are there less of them because of all the tech that's come up now with SG parking? There are no more coupons to tear and litter with and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would say yes. I mean, the SG parking app was a very good example. When that happened, when they launched that app, the number of summon aunties dropped.
Yeah.
They dropped significantly. I mean, I still see them around. I just don't see them as often as before.
I think it's a fantastic app, man.
But don't
That
they
app.
walk around with that device?
Yeah.
Because
They
they
still
have
have
to
to check
scan,
what-
right?
They scan. They scan.
Yes, they still do. They still do. But I think, Angel, you are absolutely right. On that note, I think the parking app is probably one of the best.
It's one of the
inventions
best.
Oh my God, I
ever.
love it.
It's really good. I
Yeah.
mean, now they charge you by the minute. You
Yes.
no longer waste these coupons
Yeah.
or knock on someone's window and say, "Hey, would you like my coupon?" Because
Yeah.
there's like
Yeah.
45 minutes
exactly.
left.
Yeah, and you can actually key in more.
Yes.
Right? And then if
And
you get
get
back
it
to your
back.
car early, you end early.
You're like,
But
"Oh,
you
look, I
also-
got 40 cents back."
Okay,
And it's
but you're paying by the minute, Adrian. Julian,
Yeah.
you're paying by the minute. So there's absolutely no grace period when you use this app?
No grace
No
period.
grace
The
period.
moment you press start, it starts charging.
Yeah.
yeah, and if
Yeah.
you forget to extend it, then obviously you're
Then
going
you
to get
get
fined.
fined.
Yeah,
No,
you're
and
gonna
you get an alert from wherever
Yes.
you
From
are.
yeah,
okay.
Says your
phone.
parking is about to end.
Okay,
So
you've
from
got no
wherever you are,
excuse.
you can actually add on.
It's a
Yeah.
fantastic app.
It's
When
very
I
good.
discovered it, I was like, wow, why didn't they do this before? I mean, I missed the coupons. It's a lot of fun poking those things out. But yeah, I mean, it's such a great app.
Are there grace periods with the coupons?
No, there are no grace
there's
periods.
no
No, I
grace
think they
period.
Everybody
give
keep
you
asking for
like
grace
5-10
periods.
minutes or something
You
like
you
that.
can
but you
you can
just
do
said
the
no.
grace period yourself.
Yes.
So it's like 9:45, and you just put the
10
coupon
o'clock.
starting at
Yeah,
10
yeah,
o'clock.
everyone
You have
does that,
15-minute
right?
grace.
Then what happens if the parking auntie comes at 9:55? You get fined.
I think
Gamble
five.
lah. Yeah, gamble.
Yeah, because you're going. No, because you're going forward.
Ah.
Yes.
And I think I'm not too sure if that's correct, but I think that fine, if you actually give yourself free grace period, your fine is actually more.
More.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Right, and I
Your
would
fine
think
is
I would
actually
think more so at the start of it than at the end of it, right? Because maybe you haven't made your way back to your car or something.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so because I think if you put insufficient coupons, that fine would actually be lesser compared to say if you try and
Time
do
travel?
That whole yeah. Yep.
I mean, come on. Don't be a cheapskate. You're driving a car. I already still want to be a cheapskate.
why.
Everyone did it. I bet you did it as well.
We talking about what, coupons?
Yeah, the coupons.
Oh.
Forward time.
No, I never bothered.
He won't
No,
park
but
at
here's-
places where they need to
The
use
coupons,
coupons.
oh,
Yeah,
right.
it's
But
always
here's the thing. Here's the
Air
thing.
conditioned,
I think, Glenn. I think this is cheap thrill. Everybody loves that. Oh,
Right.
I just want to do it. You know, it's like going to Bangkok and bargaining for something. You know, bargaining for cheap stuff, and you know you can afford to pay.
Right.
And at the end of the day, after bargaining for it, you're probably getting $1 off, maybe 50 cents off. You know,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
just the
It's the
thrill.
thrill
I
of
want.
it. Yeah.
I want to win.
Yeah.
And I want to win the government.
It's
That's
the,
just how it is.
it's the gamble. Everyone loves a
I
gamble.
just hate getting fined, you know, so I do
Yeah.
everything and anything not to get fined, okay? I hate it. All right, up next,
Likewise.
here's Take On Me on The Big Show, 1FM 91.3. We are speaking to Julian Kho, editor of sgCarMart.
Short someone.
So Julian, here's the thing. In town, if you're going into town, parking is horrendous when it comes to pricing. It is super damn expensive.
Yes.
But it all varies. Is there anywhere, I don't know, where I can go to find a cheap
Wheel Up Place.
car park?
The open car park at Wheel Up Place charges you car park coupon
No, but that's
pricing.
because you
Yes.
know. But
Yeah.
I don't know. So is there anywhere I can go to actually
like a website.
find cheap?
I think
You
so.
can you can download sgCarMart's Car Park app.
Oh, okay.
sgCarMart's Car Park app, both Apple or Android, whichever Play Store, download it. It is probably the best parking app you can possibly
wow.
have.
Bro, I had
give
no
you
idea
all
you
the
guys
way.
had a parking app, man.
Yeah.
Yes,
So you give
we
all the
update
prices and stuff?
everything,
Wow.
everywhere. It's crazy.
That's
Um,
fantastic.
Does it indicate
Yes.
whether motorcycles can go in or not?
No.
Update, the next update.
Bro,
No,
Yes.
Holland Village car park now, they don't allow bikes to go
Sean,
in.
remember sgCarMart.
Same lah. Mine is half a car.
No, but
Still 2 wheels only.
why wouldn't they allow a motorbike to go into a car park?
Most some places don't allow.
Really?
bikes in,
What,
yeah.
what
Yeah.
would be
Don't
the
know.
reason behind it, though?
No, there are
No
no
idea.
parking lots for bikes.
But they're so small, though.
That's
No,
why
you
So
still have to
easy
park
to
they
in
don't
get
the
care
lot.
about us.
It's just
Yeah.
it's just discrimination.
Yeah, it is.
discrimination.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
feel it's like 2 car lots will allow you to park, what, 10 bikes?
But you know, a car park like the Holland Village shopping center car park,
Yes.
which is already,
one's super tiny.
In Mandarin we say that's a LAN car park.
Yeah.
There's no space for, all the car
Anything
parks
else.
are
Oh,
so
very
weird,
close.
right?
Yeah.
It's
So
so
tight.
tight already.
Yeah.
Space is precious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I agree. We don't need any bikes
I
down there.
hope they don't. I hope they don't
Park
upgrade
across
that
the
car
road.
park because that car park is so authentic. That car park.
Yeah, that's
Probably.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I wonder if it's just discrimination because there are parking bike lots in certain car park areas, but the gantry, the barrier is just extended out. They
Yeah.
want to make it longer so that the bikes can't go
Go
through.
through. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
so
even
that's
if you
just
have to
the-
pay, like some malls, they charge you for parking,
Yeah.
but some malls they don't let bikes in at all.
You mean it's a thing that
At
says
all?
Yeah,
no
like
motorbikes?
there's a big sign that says no.
So
bikes.
it's not about the barrier length.
No, it's not
about
the barrier, yeah.
it's about not allowing. That's a bit
Yeah.
weird, though. I find.
Julian, I can't find the app. It's under sgCarMart
sgCarMart car park app.
car park app.
sgCarMart.
You guys
That's a-
should get
that's
this.
a great app.
Because when you're looking for a
Update
cheap...
we
Thanks, man.
update like everything. So if you wanna, so what we do is we usually launch the app when we're in town and we want to find out where the cheapest place to park. And different timing offers different
Yes.
prices.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all there. Everything you need is all there. Even obscure car parks, man. I mean, we do like certain places that's so obscure that I have no idea like certain areas where it actually pops up.
Okay,
It actually-
Julian, you hold on to
Oh,
that thought
it's-
and bring it up again, okay?
all
Okay.
right.
As we wrap up today.
Aha! Take on me right here on The Big Show and thebigshow.tv, 1FM 91.3. We're talking to the editor of sgCarMart, Julian Kho, and we just found out from you, Julian, that sgCarMart has a car park app.
Yeah.
Yes.
It came about because I was asking Julian, when you go to town, car parks are so expensive. How do I find the cheapest one? And you said...
sgCarMart car park app.
Yeah, so
Just
if you're
download it.
if you're looking for it, it will say car park rates, but you
Yeah.
can see it's by sgCM Private Limited, which obviously stands for sgCarMart Private Limited.
Is that the right one?
It's
Yes,
this-
that is the one.
Yeah, the yellow
that
one.
the one?
Yeah.
There you have it.
Okay, so
There you
you've
have
got
it.
to,
That's the
if you're
one.
searching for it, you've got to key in car park rates.
Car park rates. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great app.
Very
great app.
cool.
Tell us
It's
more
a-
about the app again.
I think we spent several years ensuring that the information was accurate because sometimes car parks, what they do is they change the prices.
Yeah.
And then we aren't informed, we aren't pinged, right? So we have absolutely no idea. So it's all manual over the years when, say, maybe I happen to visit Takashimaya or Ion and I realize, hey, you know what? The prices just don't match. Timings just don't match. Then we'll have to head back to the office. We got to inform the site, and then we got to, do this and do that. So over the years, I think we've sort of like, I wouldn't say reach perfection, but I think over the years we've managed to like clean out all the glitches and all that kinds of stuff. So it's quite
I've got to
reliable.
say, the people who run car parks, every time you change something in your car park, you should be letting sgCarMart know so that they can update their app because it works for you.
Yeah, and it's
awesome.
great because in this app you can search by name. There's a car park listing. There are nearby car parks. There's lot availability, and the all important
Yeah.
traffic cameras as well.
Traffic camera!
Damn.
Cop on top!
Wow.
So there's a lot going on the app. So download it. It's called
It's
what's
one
it
of
called?
the
Car park
best-
rates. Yeah.
Car
Yeah,
park
it's one of the
rates.
best apps for drivers other than Waze and Google Maps. I think those two are excellent apps.
Right.
This whole Maps thing is just excellent, but the driver's car park app is definitely something that you need.
Right.
So
we had
very,
no
very
idea. We
underrated.
had
Very
no
underrated.
idea.
There you go.
And
Yeah.
you see, you've got all the live cameras going of all the
It's
highways.
excellent.
Look,
Yeah.
the roads are empty, so it must be accurate.
Don't even ask me how we managed to do that. I don't even know how that happened.
So
I don't even know how that-
1FM fans, if you're drivers, you need to download this app right now.
Yes,
okay?
absolutely.
It's called
Car Park
Car
Rates.
Park Rates
Yeah.
by sgCarMart.
Putting
Yeah.
FD out
Yeah.
of the job. He doesn't need to do traffic
Yeah,
anymore.
there you go.
You know, to me, anyway, the easiest way to get traffic information to the driver is the way the driver should be going.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
So whatever helps. And whatever
Well, that's a good
helps.
point. That's a good point. But I think what we are missing in that car park app to really perfect it is something useful like the parking app that we all just talked about.
Oh, right. Okay.
You know, if we can have that function, that just makes it a very well-rounded, perfect sort of app. Then people can just launch it and use it. But we can't. I mean, you know.
You can't have it all.
Yeah.
But
we have to choose our battles. We can't win everything.
Well, I don't know. If you could manage a tech link between you and URA, it might work. There is still a possibility that might work.
can users input information like car park rates that have been updated or a car park that you haven't included and stuff like that? Can they write into you and let you know? Or not yet?
I think URA doesn't care about us.
They will.
I don't think they care. So, well, you know. That's okay. We're fine. We can't win everything. And I'm very happy with the whole parking app anyway. I think it's working well.
It is.
Things
It
are
is.
fine the way it is. I don't want to change things. It's all right. I'm okay.
Right.
Okay,
I'm so glad. I'm so glad I know about this app
This is
right
great.
now.
This is fantastic.
Oh,
SG
wow.
car park rates.
Car
That's
Park Rates by
yeah.
Happy to
sgCarMart.
share. Happy to share. Download it. Go download it. For drivers, I think it is one of the most crucial app to have. It's something that you need, not really something you want. Gives you all the information you need about parking, especially when you're going into town.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thousands more downloads are going to happen. In fact, it's happening right
It's
now.
happening
I
now.
know.
As we speak.
You have over 100,000 downloads already, and you're rated
Yes.
4.4 on the Google Play Store. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good rating.
Right.
And
I didn't know we-
heading into Orchard Road on a weekend, if that's going to tell you lot availability, man, that makes your life so much
Yeah,
easier.
it does.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Actually, that is a good point.
Makes
that is
your
a
life
good point. I
so
wonder if
much
we can
easier.
actually.
No,
I wonder if we can actually do that.
You have lot
You
availability.
have lot availability.
You have
on
it.
your,
Yes.
Oh, we have that
You
already.
have it. It's the third one down. Fourth one
Maybe
down.
you
Lot
should go to
availability.
your meetings next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I should stay awake during the meeting.
Maybe you should download the app
And then
as
put in
well.
about the bike things
Yeah.
as well. Yes.
We're going to test the accuracy of all that
we
and
will.
perhaps
Yeah.
maybe do a review of the Car Park Rates app by sgCarMart next week.
Try it. Yeah, we should do a review of that next week.
Thank you so much, Julian. Always enjoyable having you on the show. We hope you have as much fun as we do.
Of course. I'm always happy to be. I'm always happy to be live. I'm always happy to be on one event.
Ah,
Makes
fantastic.
my days. It starts the week right.
All right.
Perfect. Thanks for saying that.
Thank you, Julian.
Thanks for having me, guys.
You have a fantastic week ahead. See you
You
next week.
too. Stay safe.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Up next, headline news and sports right here on The Big Show.
It's big.
You can say
Isn't
bye
that just the
everyone.
most
Car
amazing
park
app?
rates. Car park rates.
That is so
I feel
We
like
say-
checking, where
We say goodbye
The
or
hops
not
on
yet?
top.
where's the traffic police
Then
now?
he's
Let's see
trying to
now.
check
What is
Whoa!
He's checking now.
Out here, Lonnie Road.
Hey,
Oh, remember we have Wolfgang Park, the first ever celebrity chef in the entire world on thebigshow.tv and radio tomorrow.
That's
at
right.
8 o'clock.
If you've got Disney Plus, watch Wolfgang
Yeah.
on Disney Plus, and then tomorrow we'll be talking about it.
Live from Los Angeles.
It's an amazing movie. Wolfgang is
Los
the name
Angeles.
of the movie. Yeah. Okay. It's about
Angeles.
it's about his life. You know
Wolfgang.
how he became the great Wolfgang Puck. All right, so we're looking forward to that tomorrow. Please join us. Go tell all your friends about it. Okay, 8 a.m. on the Big Show as well as thebigshow.tv.
All right,
Bye.
share the
People.
video. Bye-bye.